Forced adversity.
Let me know in chat if you know who Mark Brooks is.
Let me get the chat going.
So I can get it without the glare. This Marvel Comics number 1000, I got it signed by Mark Brooks. I got a few comics signed by him, but dude is the man.
Ooh, damn, that is beautiful.
Yeah, so he's pretty awesome. I've been following him on Twitter a while, and every once in a while he's not scared to talk about some shit. So yeah, check this out.
Okay, I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna do it. I can't help but notice that conservative artists are stunted in their artistic growth, with a few exceptions, of course. It's as if they got to a medium point in their skill and just stopped improving. I feel like there's room for a behavioral study to be done here. Ooh, shots fired.
Yeah, he got a lot of shit for that. And I agree though. Like, and it's something I've kind of intuitively noticed as well. Is like the same people who are, not because they're conservatives or anything. It'd be really easy to think that that's what we're saying is like, oh, if you're conservative, you suck. When it's more like, it's almost like there's some kind of,
there's like a wall, a creative wall of some sort.
Yeah. The same thing that limits them from understanding the world in a more coherent and rational manner. It prevents them from becoming, and I've talked about it before, the emotional intelligence thing might be part of it. Is like, you get to a certain point, you think, hey, I'm just perfect the way I am. I don't need to do any growth. I don't need to change or anything. Everybody, needs to change for me. I'm perfect the way I am. And that's basically applies to conservatism and a lot of their art. And I think it's kind of obvious who he's talking about here, or at least one of the people he's talking about. Van Sciver.
Yeah. Ooh, Van Sciver. This is a Van Sciver thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. He also, here's Eric Larson clowning on him.
There was like I believe there were, I don't know if they're conservative, just a right-leaning movie studio that had to shut down because of some terrible allegations, but they were producing some good stuff, I guess. They were the guys that did Bo Tomahawk, which it's a movie I really, really like.
It's a really excellent movie. Yeah. I think that's no, I don't know. I don't want to speak whenever I don't know for sure, but Bone Tomahawk is good. It's not impossible for conservatives to make good stuff. It's just that very often they're not they're not very, like that reply said in that other comment, they're not very empathetic people. They don't tend to take a humanist approach to storytelling, which, I feel like, of course, storytelling doesn't have to be humanist, but I think that it's probably going to connect with people on a deeper level. If it's got some kind of human element that's, saying something about humanity itself that's, without like condemning it or whatever, or condemning certain types of people, really getting to the systemic issues of things, which is a leftist way to approach things typically. So, but yeah, here's Eric Larson, creator of Savage Dragon. And he's retweeted a Bounding into Comics and Bounding in a Shit article. Ethan Van Sciver speculates Marvel and DC Comics are being funded by the government to push radical gender and sexuality ideology.
What?
So
why?
Yeah, we are just completely into full on bonkers tinfoil hat Alex Jones conspiracy theory now, bud.
I mean, kids, Magellan's a lot cooler than Justin Bieber. He circumnavigated with one ship the entire planet.
Wouldn't the government come up with a better scheme than just we need to make sure that everyone accepts gender? Or I don't even know if the acceptance is the push, right? What exactly is the push? But wouldn't the government just be like, hey, we need to push Marvel and DC to get us more money or power in some way, right?
Yeah.
They're even this within itself is hey, the government is pushing to have more of their people accepted, I guess, which isn't terrible, right? So I don't know.
I don't get it, man. I mean, once again, this goes back to that last video I made talking about this guy, and claims require evidence, and it's not like he's providing one iota of evidence other than just that feels true to him. It feels true.
Well, that's why
that
it said. Well, at least this is bounding into comic. Are those bad guys? Are those like?
oh
kind
yeah,
of assholes?
they essentially they're anti-Semitic and
Yeah.
you know, homophobes, transphobes.
Yeah.
They spend a lot of time writing articles about how you know, they say shit like transgenderism and trans ideology and stuff, which is not something that trans people or trans allies typically say.
Yeah.
Because they want to make it seem like it's a mode of thought and it's flawed rather than just
Yeah.
a condition that happens with people
Yeah,
sometimes.
because they're not thinking for themselves. We know how to
Right.
think for ourselves, right? Isn't
Yep.
that the meme? Like, at least these people. Well, at least bounding into comics that speculates. You know, normally, I know a lot of these type of quote unquote journalists wouldn't even put speculates. Would say like knows Marvel and DC's, something like that.
Yep.
So at least it says speculate.
Let's see.
Push gender ideology. I don't know why they're so scared. They're so scared of like.
I don't know if they really are. Like, I don't. It's hard to tell. It's kind of the thing I've tossed this back and forth in my mind for several years now. Is like, are a lot of these people just stupid, or are they dishonest? It's some mix of the two. I think when you're kind of stupid, you have to be dishonest to defend your stupid positions sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like Ethan himself is probably like, I mean, how do you feel? Do you think he's homophobic or he's grifting? Like he found an audience that likes this type of shit.
I think it's both. I think primarily, I think that he is emotionally fucked up. And after reading his brother's book, like it's a little cartoon book about how he grew up and stuff, and it's from his brother's perspective, and his brother's actually seems like a well-adjusted guy that's probably went to therapy and shit.
Okay.
Whereas Ethan is the opposite. But you can glean a little bit of information about Ethan by reading his brother's book. About how he was raised and stuff. And like, honestly, I had similar, what I was surprised to find reading it was that I empathize with Ethan a little bit because of some of the ways that he grew up. I experienced similar things, and and some of those things turned me into a shitty person when I was younger. And like, until I started addressing those things and being mindful of, how this trauma and these experiences had shaped me in negative ways, I still consider that I was a pretty crappy person years ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, I think that it does require a certain amount of emotional intelligence and self-honesty to go, okay, this fucked me up. It wasn't my fault. This is, how I was raised, and this is what happened to me, but I do have a responsibility to work on it. You know what I mean? And to not let my fucked up shit make other people fucked up. Sorry for all my, not articulating well today. But yeah, so I think that it is, and I think that's probably the case with a lot of these guys, is that on the fundamental level, they're emotionally stunted, I guess is the best way to say it. So they don't see outside their own. I didn't say I have sympathy for them. I said I have empathy. There's a difference. I have no sympathy for Van Sciver.
What is the difference? I guess empathy is like you understand where he's coming from.
Empathy is that I have had related experiences and understand the underlying feelings. Sympathy would be like if I'm like, oh, I get it. I get why he's a piece of shit. No, it's like I understand the core causes for being a shitty person sometimes, but it's, I don't have sympathy because I think it's, and this is a conservative fucking argument right here, but I think it's my personal responsibility. I have, I am accountable for my actions and my words. And I, worked on that shit for years. Yeah. Sympathy is agreeing with his emotional state. It's like, no, I don't agree with how he is. I get, he was raised Mormon. They were poor, in that book, his brother talks about, they had like dishes in the bathtub all the time, just like nobody would wash dishes. There was, just like dirty floor, you know what I mean? Just like really kind of poverty state. His father was, I think, bipolar. And that can cause some, he seemed like a decent guy, but, if you're bipolar and you're unmedicated, you're probably going to, inflict some injury on your kids if you're not taking care of it. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, And that's for those reasons I get it.
And this is all in a children's book?
No, it's not a children's book. It's
okay. I don't know why I assumed it's a children's book. Dane's got it. Don't worry, everyone. Dane's got this.
One Dirty Tree by Noah Van Sciver. See, right? Let's see. Right there. That's Ethan.
That's Ethan. Look at him. He's all punk rock. Look at him.
Yeah.
Love the hair.
I mean, like, honestly, he's a teenager basically whenever the book starts, whenever it introduces him, and he's just in his bedroom drawing and listening to rock music. And it's like, that's basically what I did. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of ways that I can see, where he comes from. And it in that way, it's, my understanding of him is more nuanced now. Not to say that it has changed. Like, my value judgment has not changed. I think he's a piece of shit. Yeah. But at the same time, on a deeper level, I feel bad for him in a way, because I mean, that's, and that might be weird to some people, but like, I feel bad for people who are so abused and neglected and fucked up as children whenever they didn't even have any say in the matter, that they can't even see outside themselves, and it's too much for them to try to go, okay, I have to work on this shit. Yeah. And it's hard. Like, I can say that because I lived it. It was the hardest fucking several years of my life, was addressing the ways that I wasn't a healthy person, and how that radiates out to people around you. You know what I mean? It takes, it takes a lot. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of, I guess, I don't like to apply these words to myself, but strength, I guess, is, you know what I mean?
And a little bit of self-awareness. I mean, you haven't even reached your peak yet. I think what makes Ethan sad is that
I haven't even begun to peak.
I haven't even begun to peak. And when I do peak, you'll know.
Yeah, you haven't even reached your final form, Dane.
Final form my ass.
Well, Ethan, like, he was on top of the world. This dude was drawing for DC, right? He was Green Lantern, right? Did he do Marvel stuff too?
Yeah, he did he worked on New X-Men a little bit.
Yeah, there you go. And just to lose that, it's got to be angry. He's got to be angry.
Yeah, and I think that's what it is. It's a resentment and an entitlement. Yeah. And it's like
he probably worked he was, like you said, he had a rough upbringing, worked his ass off, got to the highest peak of what you could in that career, drawing for comics, Marvel and DC. That's it. That's pinnacle.
Yep.
Damn. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, by his own actions, he fucked it up. You know what I mean? Like, and it's not like it was just one thing that, I would be more understanding if he'd said one stupid thing online and DC was like, well, you're fired. Like, yeah, but it wasn't that. It was a series of things, because I watched him degrade over years. I was a fan, of Jeff Johns and his run on Green Lantern Rebirth, Flash Rebirth, New X-Men. Well, that was Grant Morrison, not Jeff Johns. But yeah, I was a fan of his. I thought he was great. And
you saw him at a convention, right?
I did. I shook his hand, and I was all nervous and shit whenever I did. So like, it's kind of funny when I think back on that. But yeah,
palms are sweaty.
Yeah, fucking had mom spaghetti all over me and shit. It was crazy.
Get your sweaters ready, Detroit. Mom spaghetti.
In hindsight, I wish I would have just, thrown up mom spaghetti like right in his face. But I watched him go from, like, he would say something on Facebook, kind of fucked up, kind of bigoted. I don't remember the details of what they were, but I just remember I would read it and go, God. And I was a much edgier, shittier person back then too. So like, if somebody said something that I was much less self-aware, I was much less aware of, racial dynamics and gender dynamics and stuff like that. So if somebody said something that made me go, holy shit, what the fuck? It must have been pretty bad. You know what I mean?
Those are the worst when you meet your heroes, those type of, like, that type of interaction. I was a huge fan of this YouTuber Razor Fist. I was a huge fan of his video game reviews and music reviews, right? He would do metal albums and stuff like that. And then when Trump ran for office, this dude just unleashed, like, I don't know what it is about Trump that turned on a lot of, like, YouTubers, that were making non-political content or anything. Something just switched. And I remember I even was going to watch his live stream of the election, and he was streaming with like white supremacists, and I was just like, what the fuck? This guy, like, I loved his channel, and just to that revelation that he was like, I even tried messaging him, and I was like, hey man, big fan of your channel, blah blah blah, and just to like when that hits you, you're just like, damn, dude. And I still, to this day, I still have him like in, I'm still subscribed to his channel, you know. I'm still trying to see if he turns it around or something. But
who is this?
Razor Fist, the Rageaholic.
Oh God, Razor Fist. No, he's not turning around, dude.
Yeah,
I'm
dude,
sorry.
Yeah,
that dude is he's too far gone, man. Like, you know, it's like when you think about, you know, it's one thing to say that somebody who, you know, just some rando on the internet, nobody knows who they are, and they have shitty views or whatever. You can reach out to people like that. You can try to connect with them and stuff. But when somebody makes a fucking living, not to mention Razor Fist, he's pretty big, right? Like, how many subs does he have?
Yeah. He got a lot. He got a lot more. He got a lot more when he became more political.
And so in his mind, he's just incentivized to keep doing this. There's no reason why he would stop to reflect. And no reason for him to think, oh, maybe I need to, you know, be a little more understanding of different. No, fuck that. It's like, I'm getting paid. So yeah, speaking of, this is what I was trying to get to with the Mark Brooks thing about his Van Sciver and conservatives being artists and stuff. This is a page from his, I guess, fucking Cyberfrog or whatever. I don't know. But like, this was in the replies of that tweet.
Okay.
And it's not great. Like, you know, I started looking back at some of his older art, and I realized that, I mean, yeah, he's got some skill for sure in certain ways, but like, I don't know, just compared to a lot of the big name artists that they have and going, you know, in Marvel and DC now, which is ironic because they're always talking shit about the art in comics nowadays.
Yeah.
But then you look at this, like, this is a pretty standard kind of figure. Like, this isn't identifiable as any, you know, I don't know. It's kind of just B- level art. Like, it's not bad, but
yeah, it's not bad.
It's not great. I think it's kind of weird that he's so fixated. He spends like 2 pages showing pigs being slaughtered, which is, you know, kind of interesting.
Hell yeah.
When it doesn't have anything to do with the plot or anything like that. So
okay, are those baby pigs? They're gonna slaughter the baby pigs?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Oh, I'm an edgelord.
But I mean, look at this right here. Look, this. What is this? That's not.
Come on. Looks like a meme.
That could be anybody. I don't know. Yeah, it's not anything special. It's not like identifiable as. And it's like, this guy he's made like $1 million fucking dollars for putting out a handful of issues of comics. You know what I mean? And it's kind of a joke. It's a farce. Anybody know who Nerdette's Newsstand is? I know she's a kind of a divisive figure. She's not as you know, she's had a history, but I think she's made a lot of growth.
Yeah.
Her name is Tristan, and she posted this on. Let's see.
I see her a lot in the comment section. A lot of channels I follow. She seems very supportive of a lot of channels. I've never seen a single video of hers though.
Yeah, she has backed away from this. Dane, are you really live? No,
we're not live at all.
I'm not. I'm dead. I died. I'm sorry.
This is a hologram.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Whichever. You know.
This is Dane the hologram.
Check this out.
There we go. Got it.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Awesome. That, of course, is from the famous Adam Sandler movie Uncut Gems. Have you all seen that? It's really good. Oh, you're Dane. I hate to break it to you, but you're muted. I hate doing that to you.
No, you don't. You fucking love it. You jump right at it. Oh, by the way, why are you so late, dude? I told everybody I was going to fire you, but then I remembered I don't pay you, so I can't really fire you.
Well, there was a mix up in the timing, because I said 2 o'clock I believe, your time, which would be 5 o'clock my time, and I think we got confused in who's 2 o'clock.
My bad. Yeah,
If you look at the Discord, if
Yeah.
you read the Discord message, I will be accepting your apology.
yeah. I mean,
I'm kidding.
I'm sure you're very sorry for misunderstanding, but that's okay.
Yes, yeah. I am.
Ghost Rider got a new series by Ben Percy. My thoughts are that's friggin' awesome because Ben Percy is one of my favorite comic writers going these days. Like his run on Wolverine X-Force has been just fucking awesome. So yeah,
I love me some Ghost Rider, man. I want them to get that movie right. Let's get that Ghost Rider movie.
Yep. Jeffrey Brown. I mean, nobody likes the bigots on YouTube. Not around here. Not on this channel. So, yep, preaching the choir. However, there is, in my view, I think it's important to have some room for people who are growing, because you don't just get from being a crappy bigot to a supportive ally overnight. There's got to be a and that brings up the question of like, do we want certain people who aren't fully educated and informed in our spaces? And that's not for me to decide, but at least for me here in this on this channel, I do welcome people who have just started questioning, like, well, maybe these anti-SJW YouTubers I've been watching for years are kind of full of shit. Like, yeah, I welcome you here because they are full of shit. And, I hope that you can learn something from hanging out on this channel and talking to my community.
Yeah.
So yeah,
and
when it comes to
challenge us, and please challenge us. If you're one of those people that are having questions and your questions are towards us, please, by all means, let's have a talk. Let's discuss. We're very nice.
Yep. It's yeah, I don't know, man. It's important to me that people have a chance to grow, because it's easy for me to be on YouTube post growth and go, here's all my opinions and look how inclusive I am and everything like that, because I wasn't always. Now, no, I was never as fucking hateful as a lot of these chuds. Really wasn't. But I was much more apathetic and, passively bigoted sometimes. Like I didn't harbor any outward bigotry, but it was really easy for me to ignore the issues in the Black communities, and easy for me to not think about transgender issues and not think of it important that I support and be an ally, and so and really, as I said in my recent flat scan review, being apathetic is essentially support for bigotry, in my opinion. If you're privileged enough to not care, to not pay attention and not speak out, then you're not helping anything, and you're definitely probably making it worse by, it's just the way it is. It's that old adage, the only thing that evil needs to thrive is for good people to do nothing, right?
Yep.
But yeah, as far as Tristan from Nerdette's Newsstand, I'm not really sure where she's at. I noticed that she's got a stream coming up with just some guy who I think is a chud, from what I understand.
Yeah.
And she also interviewed Chuck Dixon recently, who's straight up on comic writer. It works for Vox Day, white nationalist. I didn't watch the interview, so I don't want to speak to whether she was challenging him or not. But I should probably look into that. She and I have been, emailing for a couple of weeks now, trying to figure out a time when we could stream or chat or whatever. But our work schedules tend to be almost opposite. But hopefully we'll get that figured out soon, and I can figure out where she's at. She's definitely been supportive of my content. There was
yeah, she's supportive of a lot of good people's content, so it should be interesting.
I think that she's trying to walk a line that, this is from my view. Maybe I'm completely wrong. I'll need to look more into it, but it seems like she's trying to kind of bridge the gap a little bit between, people who just hate chuds and bigotry, and then the bigots, anti-SJWs who hate anything woke or progressive or whatever. It's like there's no conversation being had between those two in a lot of cases.
I agree.
So, there is some value to someone who's willing to kind of, stand on both sides of that line and find a way to, facilitate communication. But
yeah, please, Nerdette, if you're listening to this, I'm going to need a bridge to Ethan. I would like to have a discussion with him. I would like a bridge built for just some guy. If you're talking to him, I would love to have a discussion with him.
I know she fucking hates Van Sciver. I'm pretty sure that Van Sciver did like a little smear campaign on her, and from what I can tell, like that's something that happened. And so like she was in my comments of my first Van Sciver video like a year and a half ago, right? And she was like mocking me. She was apparently, as soon as he watches my videos on his stream, all of his people will flood my comments. I can tell when he's watching my video because I'll suddenly start getting a bunch of, carbon copy paste fucking, shitty comments, just the worst.
You get a billion comments saying, think for yourself. They all say the same thing, right?
I mean, not even that. Like, I mean, it's usually a lot, but yeah, she was in the comments, under that first video of his talking shit. And I told her, I was like, hey, I'll get to you eventually. Don't worry. I'll cover you before long. When I realized that she had a channel and a little following and stuff, well, then I kind of forgot about her. And then like, I guess about 8 months ago, I did some video and she was in the comments saying, hey, appreciate you talking about this. I've come to, start asking a lot of questions about this and that. And it, then I actually made a video reaching out to her. Like, it seems like you're trying to, question the narratives you've been believing and then spouting, which I think is, especially for someone who has a YouTube channel and a following, they are incentivized to just keep doing the same shit.
Yeah. Takes a lot of guts to change, Hunter Avalon style.